Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Faujis Academy and Willy. So, today we wanted to talk about how exactly you should attempt your CDS and AFCAT mock test, and for that matter, even the test on your D Day. But how exactly your D Day should look like, we'll come up with a video regarding that as well. But today we specifically wanted to talk about the CDS AFCAT mock test as the examinations are nearing pretty fast and many of you must be taking XYZ coaching institution, mentoring institutions mock test. So it is going to help you all of now in whichever kind of mock test that you are taking on that side. So, in order to decipher how exactly we should attempt CDS AFCAT mock test, let us first understand the marking scheme of these two examinations. The first is AFCAT in the picture, right, ladies and gentlemen? So, AFCAT, we all know that there will be 100 questions overall, and the four sections in that will be your numeric ability, reasoning, plus military aptitude, plus English, plus general awareness, right? And the marking scheme is nothing but plus 3 minus 1. For every correct question, you get plus 3 marks, and every wrong question, you get minus 1 mark. And the unattempted question will fetch you 0 marks, right? And kind of same is the case with CDS as well. And we know that in CDS there will be three papers overall: the your English, then GK, and then your elementary mathematics, right? And each of these papers are for 2 hours, 2 hours, and in English, 120 questions will fetch you 100 marks, right? And GK also 120 questions will fetch you how many? 100 marks. And the same, and it is slightly different with elementary mathematics. There will be 100 questions and 100 marks, right? So if we go by this formula, you will be getting 0.833 834, you can say, or something like that, close to this marks for every correct answer, and one third of it. Okay, so one third of 0.833 833 divided by 1 divided by 3, so that is like 2.7, right? So 0.277, let's just keep it 8 for that matter. Okay, that will be your negative marking, and this will be a positive marking, and the unattempted ones will fetch you 0, right? And the same is the case for your GK as well. For every positive marks you will get 0.834, and for every wrong 0.278, and 0 for unattempted, right? So it's plus for correct, minus 0.278 for wrong, and 0 for unattempted. In mathematics and elementary mathematics, plus 1 for correct question, every correct question, and minus 0.33 marks for the wrong ones, and 0 marks for the unattempted questions. Right, guys? I'm pretty sure that you are already aware of this. So let's talk further. So we wanted to talk about how exactly you should manage your time. More specifically, we wanted to talk about the AFCAT examination. So the AFCAT examination, these four sections are your entire paper, right? It will be a 2 hours paper, an online paper, and all the four sections will be there all at the same time. And you can switch, okay? You can switch between one section and another, right? So it is not mandatory for you to attempt either English, GK, reasoning, numeric ability, or things like that, first, and then move to the other section. Whichever section you are comfortable with, you can attempt that first. Okay. So with that in mind, attempting whichever section you are best with, attempting that first, what I believe is that close to 30 minutes of time should be sufficiently enough for your English, right? So English will have close to 30 questions over there. So for that, 30 minutes of time should be pretty much enough for you. And GK, GS, GA, whatever the name is over here, essentially it's general studies only. So there will be close to 18-20 questions from general awareness, right? And what we believe is that 10 minutes should be pretty much important, pretty much sufficient for this section. Why? Because either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. There is no ifs and buts, right? Okay, if you know what is the capital of Serbia, let's say it has been asked you, let's say they asked you what is the capital of Denmark and things like that. The only question is whether you know it or not. So the question, so the answer is in yes or no, right? And the another reasoning and MA, everyone is pretty much aware of this reasoning and military aptitude as far as AFCAT is concerned, that the questions are not that high level. Okay, so given the close to 30 questions that you might have, that you might encounter from reasoning section, again 30 minutes is pretty much sufficient for it. Okay, if not, let us say if you are little weak in English and if you want to extend it little bit further, so this 30 minutes can be made like 40 minutes, right? And uh, over here accordingly adjusting your timing for reasoning and military aptitude. And let us say you are good with English, and let us say you are very little not so good with reasoning, so in that case you might want to invest 40 minutes of your time over here and some 25-30 minutes of your time over here. Okay, so rest is how much remaining. Let's say you give English 30 minutes and general awareness 10 minutes, and let's say reasoning 40 minutes. Okay, so in that case, let's say 30 to 40 minutes for reasoning, and English 30 to 40 minutes over here, and 10 minutes over here for your GK, right? So in that case, how much is that? 3 6 7, okay, close to 50, 40 to 50 minutes you will be left for numeric ability part, right? In numeric ability you will have close to 20 questions, and 40 to 50 minutes for numeric ability questions will be sufficient for you. That is how we should believe you should strategize your test, your AFCAT mock test, and even the same should be the scenario on the D-Day as well, right? Numeric ability, why we have kept 40 to 50 minutes? Because we are of the assumption that you have studied numeric ability, and there will be a lot of calculations, right? So how will you be tackling that? By giving time to it, by solving it, right? Now let's talk about managing time for CDS examination, right? So CDS examination, everyone is aware that these will be three separate papers. Okay, three separate papers for 2 hours each. Okay, and I just wanted to give you a disclaimer over here is that this 2 hours each is just in theory, right? In between, you will have your attendance sheet coming in. Okay, and apart from that, you will also have to bubble, bubble the answers, and that also takes a lot of time. Bubbling, 100, 120 questions is not an easy task. That takes a lot of time because many of the people, many of the aspirants, they will be doing mistakes, that instead of marking A, they will be bubbling B. Instead of bubbling D, they will be bubbling A and B and something like that. So you got to be really, really careful on that front. So let's suppose that half an hour of your time, okay, let's say 30 minutes is gone for your bubbling and attendance. Okay, attendance sheet you will be filling very much carefully. Bubblings you will be doing very much carefully. So you will essentially be left with 1.5 hours. Okay, that means 90 minutes. That means 90 minutes. So English you got to be quick in reading. Your reading speed has to be good. Okay, reading speed, if you have very good reading speed, you will be able to complete the paper in time. Okay, complete the paper in time. And and what, you will be not just completing the paper in time, you will be able to see all the questions, and that is what important. Reading through 120 questions in 1.5 hours in 90 minutes is not an easy task. Okay, so it requires a lot of practice. Request you to do this practice at your own end. GK, there will be a lot of time. Either you know it or you don't know it. The answer is either yes or no, right? Either if you know it, attempt the question. If you don't know it, do not attempt the questions, right? This is what my opinion is as far as your general knowledge is concerned, right? In general knowledge, you will have plenty of time. You can do it slowly, easily, and slowly and gradually you can do. You will be able to see all the 120 questions in the requisite amount of time, and you don't really have to hurry. Okay, so this is about your general knowledge. Lastly, talking about the elementary mathematics, guys, 1.5 hours, 90 minutes is not sufficient for it. And how I used to do more specifically, let's say the bell rang. Okay, the this most probably this will be this is actually the third examination. Okay, 3 to 5. 3 to 5 p.m. At this time, everyone will be very much sleepy, right? I used to be very much sleepy during this time. So 90 minutes, 3 to 5, 3 to 4, okay, sorry, 60 minutes, 1 hour, just give your time to solving the papers, okay? Do not go and mark during those time. Many of the people, many of the aspirants, they'll be like, okay, 1 I solved, then mark, 2 I solved, then mark, 3 I solved, then mark, and things like that. No, don't do it. For 1 hour, 60 minutes, just focus on solving the question and ticking it in your answer sheet, in your question paper itself, right? The question booklet that have been given to you over there itself. Once your 1 hour is over at 4 o'clock, okay, once your 1 hour is over, there will be a watch clock over there. Otherwise, you can ask to the attendance about the timing as well. Start bubbling the questions. Let us say there are 100 questions, you are able to bubble 30 of them. Okay, bubble it first. Okay, at 4 o'clock, and then there will be your next step from 4 to 4:30 again. For half an hour, you will simply solve the questions. Okay, you will simply solve the questions, and after this, you will again do the second round of bubbling, right? Second round of marking the answers in your OMR sheet. And finally, after 4:30, what you will do is that question solved and then bubble, question solved and then bubble, question solved and then bubble, right? So this way, by the time you are at the end of the your examination, your elementary mathematics examination at 5 o'clock, you will have enough amount of questions to attempt, and you will have ensured that none of the questions is left, or you solved it but not marked it to an OMR sheet or something like that. All these goofs can be avoided by that, right? So many of the aspirants also have this doubt that whether I should attempt ambiguous questions or not. Like basically, guesswork. This is what I mean by ambiguous questions. Should you do a little bit of guesswork, yes or no? My answer to this question is yes or no. Okay, we cannot say, right? So we have bifurcated such an ambiguous type of question wherein you do not have any idea, right? So if you have zero idea, let's say there will be four options in both the examinations. Okay, we are specifically talking about AFCAT. Okay, if you have this zero idea, there will be four options, and you don't know which of these options are correct. Okay, the best thing over here is to do what is to leave them. Okay, is to respect them. Say thank you to the people those who have said that type of question paper, and move on to the next question, right? This is how you should do. And partial idea, what I mean by partial idea is that 50-50 type of questions, right? Out of the given four options, you could eliminate two of them, like let's say A and C are not your answer, right? So in that case, I would encourage you to go and take the risk. Okay, let us say what I'm telling you like that. Let us say there are 10 questions. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions. Okay, even if let's say 50-50, the probability of getting number of questions right is at least 5, almost 5. Okay, because 50-50. So let's say you marked A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, and things like that. So there's a good probability that you will be getting at least half of it correct. Okay. If you get half of it correct, what will be the scenario? 5 into 3, 15 minus 5. Right. 5 is for wrong answer. That means you will be getting 10 marks. Okay. And let's say if you are lucky enough, let's say you got six questions right. So 6 into 3, 18. minus 4, you will be getting how much? 14 marks, 14 plus marks. So it is better than getting 0 wherein you left these questions unattempted. Let's say on the downside, what happens that let's say you only got 4 questions correct. So 4 into 3, 12. Okay, 12 minus 6, this is how much? 6 marks. Still you are in the positive marks. And let's say you got only 3 questions correct out of 10. So this is 3 into 3 minus 7, which means still you will get plus 2 marks in correct. Okay, and I'm giving you, even if you are doing this, tukkebaji, I mean you are doing this guesswork for 10 questions, there won't be the case that you will get less than 3 of them right. Okay, so I'm not encouraging you to do the guesswork per se, but this is just a rough calculation over here, which essentially means that if we have a large number of questions, leaving it unattempted will essentially mean that you will get 0, but with a slight risk, you can maximize your marks, okay, by some number. Okay, if you have to get like 150, you will get 152, 156 and things like that, and that's it, and you are like to the right hand side of the cutoff. I'm talking about FCAT, right? Now, talking specifically about this ambiguous question in CDS, I'll tell you my strategy as far as zero idea in English is concerned. Okay, I would respect them. Okay, antonyms, synonyms. Okay, and a few of the spotting error type of questions. Okay, I would leave them. I would respect them for the sake of respecting them. I would not disturb them, right? And the same is the case for your GS as well. Attempt less number of questions. GS in CDS will be tough. It will be very tough, okay, because this exam is being conducted by UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, the same examination taking body which conducts examination for your IAS, right? So the GS paper will be tough, and please respect it. On an ideal front, I would say, even if you are getting like out of 100, like out of getting 30 to 40 marks over here, that's a good amount of marks, right? Okay, we'll talk about ideal number of attempts and the cutoffs and all, how much you should expect and things like that in the upcoming video in a more detail. Okay, we'll also a little bit touch upon the accuracy part of it as well, right? So GS do not know inky pinky ponky, right? It doesn't work out in GK, GS. And lastly is your mathematics, elementary mathematics to be more specific, right? Over here also no inky pinky ponky, no inky pinky ponky. Okay, why? Because either you know it or you don't know it. Okay, either it's yes or no. Unless otherwise you solve the question, you won't reach an answer. Okay, so if you are doing this tukkebaji, if you are doing the guesswork in mathematics, that will go wrong for sure, right? So that was about the zero idea case. The partial idea case, yes, GS and English, you can attempt, you can attempt. Okay, 50-50, attempt it, because the same is the case with CDS as well. It is like 0.834 in positive and 0.27 in your negative, right? So which is essentially your plus 3 minus 1 scenario that we have in AFCAT examination, right guys? So 50-50 questions attempted over here, attempted. And mathematics, the elementary mathematics part of it, 50-50. Look, you won't reach this 50-50 scenario if you solve the questions. Okay, so if you are reaching this, that means you need to understand that where exactly you are making the mistake, right? So I would not suggest even 50-50 for elementary mathematics. Okay, do only 40 questions but get all of them correct. Do only 50 questions but do all of them correct, right? You must have 100% accuracy in numeric ability, elementary mathematics part of CDS, and the same is the case for your reasoning and numeric ability as far as your FCAT is concerned, right guys? Yeah. So overall, I wanted to talk a little bit about the overall strategy as well and this is strategy for both your AFCAT and CDS. Okay. What I call it as ABC strategy. This strategy I have derived from the time wherein I used to prepare for my CAT examination, and that's how I landed up to in IIM Kozhikode. Okay, and for some reason, military did not work out for me. Okay, so we'll talk about that someday later. But that's how this is a strategy I employed to crack all the written examination that I have cracked till date. Okay, so what is that ABC strategy? A stands for Abhi Karo. What is Abhi Karo? Means do it now. Do it now. Okay, now. बाद में करो, do it what? Later. Do it later. Okay, छोड़ दो means leave it. Do it never. Don't do it ever. Do not even revisit such type of question. Okay, let us say, for an example, I'm giving you an illustration that there are 10 questions. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? In your AFCAT examination, you'll be having 100 questions, and in CDS, you'll be having 120 for GK, 120 for English, and 100 question for maths. But let's just say, for the illustration sake, I'm giving that you'll be having 10 questions only. Right. So what are those abhi karo type of question? What are the do now type of questions? Let us say there are like 1, 3, 4, 6, 8. Okay. These are the questions. These are your A type of questions. Okay. Let's call it A. Right. You know this question. You know it for sure, and you can solve it within less than 1 minute, 1.5 minutes or so. Okay, are damn confident about this question, and you are going to get it correct. These questions you should get with 100% accuracy. Okay, as I mentioned to you, we'll talk about the accuracy part again, right? In a separate video. So this is about your A type of question. Now you must have observed that question number 5, 7, 9 we haven't touched. Okay, these were the questions 5, 7, and 9. These were your B type of questions, like baad mein karo type of questions. You know it, you know these type of questions, but you only know that no, I'll be able to do it, but it will take a little bit of time for me to solve this type of question. So this you should do it in the second iteration. Okay, the first iteration of question paper that you are solving from 0 to 100, 1 to 100, you will only be attempting A type of question which you are damn sure about it and damn confident, and you are doing it with 100% accuracy, and that will take your least amount of time, right? And then in this second iteration you will pick up this B type of question. While you are doing this A type of questions, you must have come across this 5, 7, 9 as well. Just do it in AFCAT, mark for review. Okay, these three questions. And in CDS examination, what you will do, you will be having papers. Okay, just round it like this. Okay, to the questions that have been marked for review, or some other annotation that you want to use on that side, right? So this is your baad mein type karo question. Once you are done with A type of question, the first iteration, then you will pick up the B type of question, and then let's say you are also done with the B type of questions. Okay, this is your baad mein karo question. Let's say, for example, they gave you an equation of circle and tell you that how many points are there on the circumference of the circle. So it takes a little bit of time to find answer to such sort of questions. Okay, so you will be classifying this in B type of question. Let us say, for example, there are like 10 dogs, 10 biscuits, and they eat it in 10 minutes. Okay, so how many dogs will eat let's say 100 biscuits in 100 minutes? Okay, so these are all your easy type of questions. So you will be classifying this type of questions in your A type questions, right, guys? So this is how you will be going. Now, if you observe it little bit more carefully over here, we did not address the question number 10. Okay, this question number 10 is your C type question. Okay, chhod do, leave it. Only if you are done with A and B type of questions completely, you should pick up the C type of questions. Okay, C type of questions will be very cumbersome. you are not, it is not striking you in your mind, and you are pretty much not sure about how exactly you want to go ahead about it, right? So respect it, say thank you to the people, those who have set the question paper, and move on. To be very much more specific to you, as far as from the examination point of view, you won't have any time remaining after this A and B type of question. Your time will almost get exhausted. Only if you have these two iteration, A type question, B type question, that would be sufficient, right? And how, little bit, let's talk about how we should leave the questions in 10 to 20 seconds. If it is not striking in, not striking to you, please leave it. No ego that I have studied time and distance chapter, that I should solve this from here, that I have studied geometry, then why am I not able to solve it from geometry, and things like that. No ego, nothing. Keep moving. In the fruit, in the tree, if it is like this, remember, for each of the questions you will be having the same weightage, so there is no point in picking up the tougher questions. Okay, so this is your tree and there are the fruits, so which one will you pick? Obviously these ones will you pick. So pick up the low laden fruits, low laden fruits. Okay, that is the key to crack all this type of examination. Right, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for watching my video, and we'll talk more about accuracy and stuffs in the accuracy cutoff and all in the next video. Thank you so much. I wish you a great day ahead. Jai Hind.